Good morning. Welcome once again to the Zest4 webinar. This is going to be the sixth in the series of webinars that's designed to help partners and potential partners understand, I suppose, firstly what Zest4 are doing in IoT, what the opportunity is for partners within the IoT space, and how Zest4 can help partners succeed using a range of end-to-end IoT solutions and services. Now, we've covered several topics so far to help partners make the journey through the IoT minefield. But the topic I want to cover today is all about telematics and the ability to track and trace assets. A simple, well-documented IoT solution is standard, but there is, and has been for some time, a challenge when a business wants to track multiple different types of assets. So today, I want to look at what is Zest4 Live Track. What are the typical solutions for utilization? What can Zest4 Live Track offer to you as a partner and also to your end users? I look at the range of solutions that make up Zest4 Live Track. And how does the portal work and what can you do with it? And lastly, I suppose, what is the partner opportunity? For a number of years now, and more than I care to mention, I suppose, I've been operating in the M2M IoT space. And for as long as I can remember, there have been products around that allow you to track, trace assets, track and trace vehicle and people. The challenge most have faced, though, is most solutions are built specifically for one particular vertical or use case. The likes of TomTom or Geotab, or even our own Smart Witness solution, are built to do a specific job. Most of these are aimed at fleet vehicles. But even just with vehicles in mind, you need to decide what you want to get from your vehicle and your solution. So, is it a plug and play device? Is it something that you're going to hardwire into the vehicle just to track and trace? Or do you want to see routes and vehicle performance? Do you want any vehicle diagnostic information? How about managing your driver behaviour? Does it need a camera? If so, how many? Do they record all the time, or are they going to be incident-based cameras? The options and permutations are very varied and complicated, and not many providers will offer you this level of variation in one single solution. Then, what if your business has more than just vehicles that need tracking? You generally have to find another provider that can track your other assets. On top of this, we also have the issue of tracking individuals, such as lone workers. That's usually another end solution. When it comes to plant and construction equipment, there's generally more to track than just location. For plant, there's usually a need for things such as engine running hours, battery load and charge time, etc. So if your business has a range of, I suppose let's call them things to track and locate, you may have these spread over 3 or 4 different providers using 3 or 4 different platforms, and maybe even receive 3 or 4 different bills each month. Not only is this confusing, but it can also turn out to be very costly, which is why you'll find when you start talking to your customers about this, they may have looked at or even deployed a single solution before, but probably have not maximised what they can do with their assets, vehicles, or individuals that need to be sort of monitored and tracked. When we at Zest4 decided we were going to offer this type of end-to-end solution to our partners and channel, we wanted to be certain that we did not pigeonhole ourselves or our partners into one particular vertical or solution. We wanted to be sure that we could offer the ability to do all of the above and more in one platform, one suite of products with a simple pricing structure on one bill. So we decided to work with a provider that would allow us to launch our own branded solution. That would allow us to provide an industry-leading connected fleet management solution ranging from hardwired, plug-and-play black box telematics, remote access CCTV, driver behaviour, management solutions that covered a broad range of sectors including commercial fleet vehicles, plant, construction, equipment, local authorities, utilities, private businesses and much, much more. These devices needed to provide key insights to optimising fleet and individual performance, whilst reducing occupational road risk. If we can reduce loss from theft and reduce individual risk for employees, that's also going to be an added benefit. By implementing our telematics and camera devices across a business, your customers will increase safety and security and see savings in fuel, maintenance and reductions on insurance premiums. So whether your customers are a large multinational or a small company, Zest4 have made it easy for you to take advantage of next generation telematics and access fleet intelligence very quickly. Our team works closely with partners across multiple sectors to create bespoke solutions that can be deployed anywhere with minimal fuss for maximum returns. So what does this look like? Well, two things are key to being able to do this. Firstly, you need to be able to do this efficiently. The key is to have one single portal for all of your tracking and monitoring requirements. And I'll show you this shortly. Secondly, you need a suite of solutions that will use the same technology but can be adapted to virtually any valuable asset. So let's have a quick run through the basic range that we're offering today. So I'm going to start with something that I suppose most people can understand. We'll start with vehicles. This is one of the easiest and simplest solutions you'll see on the marketplace. So most vehicle telematics solutions have to be hardwired into the vehicle. This is great as it's hidden away, but what if you just want it for a short-term solution? What if it's a hire vehicle that you're tracking? What if you just don't want a hardwired solution, but you want to be able to manage your vehicle and driver behaviour? We start with a range of simple plug-and-play device. This plugs directly into the vehicle's diagnostic port, so it should fit all vehicles manufactured after 1996. Because it fits into the diagnostic port, it will pick up some basic diagnostic information from the vehicle as well. It offers full GPS tracking that includes every single journey, the route and the location. Driver behaviour reporting that includes monitoring and reporting on speeding, harsh acceleration, harsh braking and cornering, idling, etc. There are automated reports it will give you for tampering, for fuel usage, braking speed thresholds, etc. Many more functions that you'll see on the portal shortly that will allow you to completely manage your fleet. And looking at previous installations and case studies, by having a device like this in your vehicle and properly managing the driver behaviour, which is the key piece, we see a minimum of 10% saving in fuel consumption and costs. So that's a simple plug and play device. The next thing I'll show you is a hardwired GPS solution. So if you prefer a hardwired solution that can be hidden away within a vehicle, then this device is suitable for I suppose all vehicles. It's got a simple 3-wire install, and you can get access to the same suite of reports and information as you can with a plug and play device, minus some basic diagnostic information. This allows you to again fully manage your fleet. But as it doesn't need a diagnostic port, this can go into any vehicle, including HGVs, motorcycles, plant and construction equipment, and much more. And once you've got this little device hardwired into your vehicle, it acts as a base for many other telematics solutions and add-ons to be built into it. So you can really start with something very simple and build on the solution that you've got within your vehicle as your fleet grows or your demands grow or what you want from a system grows. So once we've got the base system installed, we can then take vehicle telematics to another level. Once you've got the hardwired solution in, one of the key things that can be added, and one of the most popular things, is the Zest4 incident cam. You can connect up to 2 cameras to your vehicle so that you can not only report on what's happening, but you can also see what's happened. The cameras we supply are not like a normal dash cam that you get from your local Halfords or whatever. The challenge with a standard dash cam is that it's recording the journey all the time, but it's not reporting when anything happens. So unless there's an obvious crash, or the driver reports something to you, you've got no way of knowing what footage is on there and what time anything happened. Let's face it, you're not going to sit down and watch 8 hours of footage every day from each driver. So these are okay for a consumer, but play no part in a business. The Zest4 incident cam is recording all the time and it's connected. So this means it tells you when something has happened. For every incident, and this could be collision or impact, it could just be bad driving. It will take a snapshot of video which covers 10 seconds of footage before the incident so you can see what caused it, as well as 10 seconds of video of the actual incident or after the incident so you can see what happened. The video is then instantly sent to the fleet manager so they can record and review the incident and take the appropriate action in order to manage driver behaviour and safety. Another benefit here is As well as fuel savings from changing driver behaviour, there are also insurance benefits. I'll give you a real example. I have one of these in my car. When I renewed my insurance this year, I told them I'd got this in, and I instantly got a 10% reduction on my premium. Again, once we've got the base unit installed, we can think about what else we can do with our vehicle. So we could start to think about what we do with our trailers. If you have a fleet of HGVs, you'll probably track the engine unit, but what about the trailer? The challenge we sometimes see here with trailer units is they're not always connected to a vehicle, so they're not always powered up. Our trailer track unit is great as it's hardwired into the trailer, but it also has a rechargeable battery unit. This means every time the trailer is powered up to the engine unit, it will recharge the battery. But also, while it's not connected, it has the power to continue to report the relevant information the fleet manager would want to see. The battery will last approximately 6 months between charges if required. And this is not just for trailers, it can be used to track any asset that has an intermittent power source for charging the unit. Again, this will give you all the information that you can get from all the previous units. And I apologise if I'm whipping through these a little quickly, but I've got quite a lot to go through and show you. So the next thing we've got, which again links in with the trailers, is a tyre pressure monitoring system. There is, and I suppose always has been, a challenge monitoring tyre performance of a trailer attached to a HGV. So to link in with our basic tracking device, we have tyre pressure monitoring systems that will give you a live view and live reporting for tyre pressures, and more importantly, whilst the vehicle is moving, tyre temperature. This can warn a fleet manager or a driver of a potential problem before it happens, as most blowouts are caused by over or under inflation of tyre pressures or extreme temperatures. This unit would be hardwired into the vehicle. It's completely configurable for thresholds and alerts, and it will give you a 24/7 sort of live view reporting of your tyre pressure and temperatures. And of course, it's fully integrated into the same portal as everything else that we see here today. And again, I suppose staying with HGVs, we've got refrigerated units on the back of vehicles. Another add-on that we like to talk about, which is a little bespoke but relevant to some fleets, is refrigerated vehicle temperature monitoring. While some new vehicles offer connectivity, so a fleet manager can remotely monitor the temperature in the back of a vehicle, most on the roads today do not. So another simple add-on is the ability to see live temperature in the back of a vehicle and get a suite of reports that make sure you're alerted if there's an issue. This is critical when delivering foodstuffs and could prove invaluable if you can pick up an issue before the goods are ruined. As well as real-time reporting, you can also generate current and historical reports. These can be printed off and saved and used for managing and providing evidence of food safety. Again, another thing that's critical if you're running a fleet of cold storage vehicles. Other devices and solutions we can add to the same system and same portal include this little device. This is a waterproof, ruggedized, hardwired device that will give all of the reporting that we've talked about so far from the previous devices, but it's be designed to use outdoors in environments where weather and water can be a factor. It's IP67 rated, and we've seen a number of these being used on things like boats or plant, construction, machinery, etc. We then also have a self-powered tracking device. Within your business, you'll find that you have a number of assets that either doesn't have their own power source, or maybe it runs on mains power, etc. But to combat this, we have a great little self-powered unit. This has a replaceable battery system that's designed to last in excess of 12 months. And if you minimize the reporting functions on this device, you can get power saving modes that will make the battery last up to 36 months. It's a simple and easy to replace the batteries, and as well as reporting on all the usual pieces of information, it has a battery low alert system to make sure you're keeping on top of performance. We then have another similar device where no power is required, designed for heavy duty tracking solutions. These are used on things such as containers, skips, bins, again plant, anything really that needs a heavier duty solution. Again with a replaceable battery unit, but this unit is a little bit bigger than the ones we've seen so far, so it means we can boost the battery power. You can expect up to 60 months of life from this device on one battery. But there are going to be times when a 3G or 4G tracker is no use to you. What about if there's no 3G or 4G signal to be had where the asset is going to be? So we see a lot of these, and we use satellite tracking. So satellite trackers are used quite a bit for maritime deployments because it's using satellite technology to report its location. So it'll give you the same level of information that you get from the standard GPS trackers, but it's using obviously a different type of service to report its location as well. These can be a little bit more expensive and a little heavier drain on the battery, but they're all units that are quite bespoke and are used sort of regularly when we can't get a 3G or 4G signal. So now let's think about plant and construction equipment. I mentioned earlier that in a lot of cases this has to be treated differently. So imagine as you travel down any motorway, most major A roads today, you'll see literally millions of pounds worth of yellow plant and construction equipment left unattended by the roadside. If you've invested in plant or heavy machinery, then there are a number of things that you need to ensure you measure and monitor. The obvious things are, where is it? Where's it going? And if it's moving, should it be? Connect any one of our devices to a piece of plant and you can achieve this. And key things we see customers are doing here are sort of, I suppose, locating their equipment. If they've got plant dotted all around the UK, it's sometimes difficult to keep on top of where each device is. So it's good to be able to see and report where all your kit is at any one point in time. We also see people making sure the kit stays where it's supposed to be. So using geofencing, you can set up alerts and alarms that will notify you instantly if one of your pieces of kit moves from where it's supposed to be. It's a great tool for theft recovery, and there's two options for doing this. You can tell it to report you the instant it moves. That way, if it's in a yard or somewhere locked up at night, the instant it moves, you can know about it. But also, it could be that your piece of plant is working on a stretch of motorway that's, I don't know, 1 mile long or 10 mile long, whatever it may be these days. You can set a geofence location around the exact piece of road that your piece of plant is working on. And again, you can be notified if it breaks that geofence. That way, you're not going to get any notifications while the plant is working or doing what it does during the day, but as soon as it moves out of where it's supposed to be, you're instantly informed. Something that's often overlooked though when managing plant is performance and servicing. With your car or van, it's easy to measure service intervals and plan maintenance, etc., because it's usually mileage based. But plant and construction equipment, or gardening equipment even, doesn't work like that. Most don't travel that many miles, so they have to be serviced and maintained based on the engine running hours. You'll see a lot of equipment out there that have running hours built into the dashboard, but how do you manage that remotely if your assets are on site? You have to rely on men on the ground to report this. Get this wrong and it can cause issues. This kit is generally very expensive, and the warranty for this type of kit is critical. If your piece of plant or construction machinery misses a service or goes over its engine running hours without any maintenance, then the warranty could be invalid. By using one of our devices, we can track engine running hours, battery usage, top up, drain time on the battery, utilisation, and much, much more. The level of information can be invaluable and save thousands in unwanted servicing and repair bills for a fleet manager. So with all of this available, there should be nothing asset-wise within a business that can't be traced and monitored all in one place. But this also covers individuals. So we also have lone worker units. Our lone worker proposition is designed to be used when staff are out in the field working alone, and the ability to monitor their movements and communication is critical here, providing organisations with a vital level of security and precaution for health and safety. Each unit has a rechargeable tracking device built into it. The lone worker would keep this on them and it will give full GPS tracking that you can track by PC, laptop, tablet, smartphone, etc. It offers a full suite of telematics reporting, automated alerts. We can geofence locations, It also has a panic button and a movement stroke non-movement alert sensor. You also have the ability to view live reports as well as set automated schedule reports and historic reporting. A critical piece of kit when you've had individuals that could be at risk in their day-to-day roles. But we can also take it one step further, and if you're looking for even more security and traceability, we have the Zest4 body cam. Again, a fully connected device that offers a full range of tracking and telematics that you get with the lone worker solution, but the added benefit of a full 1080 digital video recording unit. Key features that you see on this are live video on demand, so you can see exactly what's happening with live video streaming. It's got night vision and audio built into it. Up to 128 gig of memory storage, so you can get historical video downloads. It's got the full GPS tracking and lone worker facilities. It's got the panic button, and we can also do this with a choice of cameras, i.e. non-streaming, record only, which is slightly cheaper, or full streaming using 3G and 4G. So as you can see, we have all you need to be able to monitor and track anything or anyone within your customer's business. And the key thing that gives us a real selling point is that all of these devices can be managed and viewed within the same single management portal. So let's take a look at the portal. Initially, when you first log in, you're faced with what looks to be a standard telematics type dashboard. Down the left hand side here, you'll see all the assets in your group, including lone workers and normal asset tracking devices, along with vehicles. At first glance, you'll see basic vehicle information that identifies which asset it is, and this is all configurable, so you can name them as you see fit. You'll also see that if an asset is stationary, it will have a P at the side of it. If the asset is on the move, there'll be a rolling road beneath it, which also tells you the speed that the asset is travelling. Select the assets that you'd like to see, and they will appear on the map. So you have a view of where each one of your assets are. If I select an asset and hit the Journey tab, I can view the trips that the asset has made. I can do this individually or as part of a group. I can also select a date range. So if I want to look at historical data, I can do that. To take a look in a little more detail on the journey, I can then click on the Action tab and see more relevant information for this vehicle. I can see where the journey was, where it went to and from, how long it took, and any idling time. I can also see the maximum speeds. If we look at the graph, we can see what speed limits were set and how the vehicle performed against the speed limits. On the left, I see a snail trail that I can drill down into of the actual route that's taken. All useful pieces of information when managing a fleet. So let's take a look at some of the reporting that's also available. I'm not going to go through everything as, to be honest with you, I'd be here all day. But if we take a look at the top bar, we can see the reports function. On here are the most comprehensive list of reports that you're going to see on a telematics solution. Now this is just a snapshot of what is available. And this page is fully configurable. So your user can just show the reports that are relevant to their business. If I scroll down though, you can see some of the reports that are available. But reports that most people use or are most beneficial are things like location reports, journey reports by vehicle, idling reports, utilization of asset reports, collision, G-force or impact reporting, alerting reporting, current location, start and finish time reporting, fuel and emission reports, MPG reporting, speed limit reporting, etc. All of these are reports that will allow users to proactively manage assets within a business in real time, as well as being able to look at historical data for each asset. But with most asset tracking solutions, there's a requirement to manage by exception. And what I mean by this is not to have to sit in front of a portal watching for something to happen, but to be able to get on with your day-to-day job, set a range of parameters for all of your assets, and then receive a notification if or when something changes. This is where the admin functions come in on our portal. If we take a look in here, we can see a list of functions. What I'm going to do today though is take a look at alerts. You can see we can set alerts for things like geofencing. We can set up a point of interest. Now the point of interest is usually where the vehicle's been left. We can then get a notification if an asset moves out of a geofence location or away from a point of interest. And if we look at the other type of alerts, we can also see the types of things that we can alert on. And we can manage things like tamper alerts, i.e. if an asset or the tracking device is being tampered with, theft alerts, panic alerts, and accidents that have happened, if there's a man down, if the power has been disconnected from an asset or an asset tracker, if an asset or trailer has been towed away, and much, much more. I can also confirm that if there's something on here that you're looking for or your customers are looking for and we don't currently have that report, then we can work with our developers to ensure that moving forward we meet yours and your customers' needs. Whilst I could go on for some time showing all of the different functions and reports and features of this great portal, I'm conscious of time now, so I'll move on. But if anyone wants to see more of this or any other areas, then please let me know after the session and I'll happily walk through this with you or set up a live demo. So to summarise what we've gone over today, folks, IoT is a reality now, and more businesses are turning to IoT to help them manage their businesses and their valuable assets, and of course the people. As well as having a duty of care for individuals, business owners also need to make sure that they minimise loss and maximise the performance of their assets. As we move towards a fully interconnected smart world, we need to make sure that we are the ones that are leading our customers and helping them maximise their efficiencies. If you look at your base, there's probably not a business that doesn't have an asset or a thing that needs tracking or monitoring. Having the ability to offer this on one portal, on one bill, will enable you to easily sell and support your customers, and it will enable you to generate long-term incremental revenue for your own business whilst opening the door to future IoT opportunities within your customer. On the back of this webinar, we're also able to offer as much or as little support as you need. We can offer you demo logins so that you could do this for yourself, or even better, why not think about taking some of these devices to use within your own business? You can then offer real life experiences of using the solutions. So this is going to bring today's webinar to a close. There will be a Q&A facility. If you wish to take part in the Q&A, your microphones will be muted. So you'll have to use the tools at the bottom of the page. Raise your hand, I'll unmute your microphone. Failing this, I'll also make today's webinar available to you to download so you can review at your leisure.